What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're going to talk about Hijack 93. This is a Netflix film. It's based on a true story. It takes place in Nigeria. It's about a recruitment of some radical terrorists to take over a plane. They're not really sure why they're doing it. They just are sort of radicalized to do it, and then they do. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty. What's on the surface. I guess this really happened. This probably plays better in areas in which they remember this incident. I would assume, like most things do, if you're playing on local history, if you're playing on local events, the more resonant is with the audience that remembers the event that happened, and depending on how nationwide or worldwide or continent-wide, regional, however it is sort of the outreach. I would imagine even like for us in 9/11 films seem like a pretty dominating fact. But I don't know if you take a 9/11 film to Australia, like, does it mean the same thing to them? So I don't know that Hijack 93 necessarily is going to be anything revolutionary. It's going to be something that you feel like you've seen before and just sort of relies on the drama of these guys and this plane, and everything moves really quickly. It's almost a little too quick, which means you don't really get character development. Sometimes these films benefit from us knowing more about these characters, about where they came from. Like, by the time they get down to it and they say, "Oh, we've got your families," I'm like, they have families? They're so underdeveloped. Who would have known? Same thing with kind of like people on the plane. There's a guy that boards the plane in sort of like his own moment, and later on they're like, "Oh, we have an asset on the plane," and you're like, "Oh, that dude. Well, we didn't know anything about him. He's, again, really underdeveloped as a character." So when you lack the human connection in these stories, sometimes that's what's missing. Uh, if you think about something like Society of the Snow, where you sort of peel off characters one by one in a survival event like that, that thing's all about character. It's all about these moments between these people. It even has a little bit of a lead in before the event, so that we get to see, the people before the crash. We get to see them, everything before the event, and how they handle the event, and question about, who survives and that kind of stuff. So it's played out in a way that dramatically supports your enjoyment of the film in a way that supports storytelling and characters and cast. And this one just kind of does it in a cut and dry, let's get to the end of the film way. So that's how I'm treating it. It does have audio description. If I'm going to be really honest, and it's not really a plus or a negative, it is audio description that's representative of the country in which it's from, and we don't get a whole ton of internationally described content. So at best, we're used to hearing English American, and then maybe some British describers. Every once in a while you get an outlier that's an Australian subscriber. But I think this is my first one that has had that African accent on top of it. And I was struggling to sort of follow it along a little bit in some places. But it was okay. This film was okay. It's just, if it wants to be more than it is, I would say it needs to develop its characters a little bit more. And I both love the choice for narrator, but I'm just pointing out that it is somewhat frustrating, but it's frustrating for a different reason, and it's because we don't normally get a lot of this sort of audio description. I think it should be authentic. It should be representational of where it came from. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not saying go find me a white person. That's not what I'm doing. Um, I'm just pointing out the fact that we've gotten so little content that's been audio described and then has had like an audio description team that actually sounds like they're from this movie, from where the movie was shot, that it just kind of throws you for a little bit of a curveball. So, but a positive one in terms of if you're thinking about representation. So anyway, I'm kind of just split on Hijack 93. So I think probably if I was going to say what pushes me one side of the line over another is actually the fact that we don't get enough international content that's audio described, which is not a great reason to specifically support this film. I've seen worse international films that I would rather not support this year, that I just didn't think were good films and were worse than this. And so I'm encouraged. I would like to encourage more of this coming from Netflix and also from other audio description subscribers. So that way, when we do get a major film, I'll watch 100 Hijack 93s if it means that when Roma and Godzilla -1 happen, that they actually get audio description instead of us just not getting 2 major Academy Award winning films. So I guess in a thumbs up, thumbs down world, my thumb is like slightly up. It's like, hey guys. So, but I'm pretty split on this. I would say I'm going to give Hijack 93 a C. So it's pretty much right down the middle for me. The historical aspect of it and stuff, sure. But we've seen this airplane thriller stuff done before. And done with great character development. If you watch something like Idris Elba's Hijack on Apple Plus, where he has plenty of time to develop all the characters in that show. So, anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Please click like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the other side.